Hola from the west side. It's me, DC, the Purple Diva. Welcome to another night of not so random chat. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you too. And happy Friday to me. I'm going to just let the music play a little bit until somebody gets in here. And then we're going to get it going. But we're going to have it going for a minute. I'll be on here at least for 2 hours. So I know you guys are about to come on too. So I hope everybody is having a good Friday. I know that some of my folk are over in another live that's about to let out. And I could have started a little late, but I did that to y'all last night. So I'm trying to be consistent and being on time to my own live. But one of the things that I would like to talk about right here at the beginning is a little more about the shooting that was here in California, and just to give an update about that incident that happened here. And please, as you come in on this Friday night, where I'm giving you some Friday feelings, please don't forget to smash that like button so I know you like the broadcast. But the tragedy that happened yesterday here in California was yet another school shooting. It just breaks my heart. Everyone who knew this young man said that, he wasn't an outcast. He had friends. He was a good kid. But that he had been having a hard time dealing with his father's death. And so I guess there hadn't been really any outside signs. But it appears that even though he knew the young lady, the 16-year-old young lady, because her grandparents lived next door to him, he was shooting randomly. So he had no intended targets. He was in a lot of pain. And he came to school with a gun. Now, they have said that they did find several guns at his residence that were registered to his late father, but he used another gun. So, again, we have to figure out how a 16-year-old who lives in the suburbs got a hold of a gun. And I'm not even, I'm not saying that in a funny way or anything, but I know the area that he lives in. And yeah, there are some bad areas in Santa Clarita, but a bad area in Santa Clarita is not like South Central LA. Okay? So it's probably a little harder for him to get a gun illegally. But yet and still, this child got a gun. Hey, Mella. Thanks for coming in. I'm talking about the shooting yesterday. That kid. So you have a 16-year-old who got a gun illegally, which is why, again, I'm going to say the gun control, stricter gun control is not really the answer for us. Clearly, we need to really be on our children's mental health. Because this young man's father died 2 years ago, and he's still hurting from that. And nobody was really doing anything, I guess, to help him with that pain. So it appears that his plan was to take himself out and to take a couple of people out with him. And it appears that he succeeded at that. Because although he's still technically alive, they're saying that he appears to be brain dead. He did all of this in 16 seconds, y'all. No, he wasn't medicated. He wasn't medicated. He appeared to be a normal kid who was still grieving the death of his dad. And his older sister, I think, is in college. And also went to the same high school. It just... Hey, Veronica. I'm talking about the young man, the shooting in at Saugus High School yesterday. So, to me, you know, like I said last night, one of the things, and I didn't bring this up at the beginning of the broadcast last night, but tonight I'm going to bring it up. Not only do we need to pay close attention to the mental health of our kids. We need to really be all up in their Kool-Aid, making sure that we know what's going on with them. But I think part of the problem is we don't have prayer in school anymore. And I'm not talking about religion in school. I'm talking about just saying a prayer in the morning to start the day. You know? And I don't even know what it's like to have prayer in the school, since it was never in school during my lifetime. You know? But I actually had a chance to meet the son of Marilyn O'Hare, who that law went into effect for. He's a born-again Christian these days. Or when I met him, he was. I think he's still alive, but I'm not sure. But he became a born-again Christian and fought against everything that his mom put in place. I mean, seriously, what could a prayer in the morning hurt? What could it hurt putting prayer back in school? You know, they can make it a general prayer if they want to not offend people. But I just think that it's mighty bold of us continue to give God the middle finger and think that it's not going to affect things. So this young man, yesterday was his birthday. He turned 16. He went to school. And in 16 seconds, changed his life and several other kids' lives. I believe it was a total of 6 kids that were hit. 2 other children are deceased. And the other ones, I believe, are going to be okay. You know, so I hope everyone is really, really keeping the community of Santa Clarita up in prayer. I don't know what it's going to take to open people's eyes to what's going on. Our kids are going through things and they don't know how to handle these things. And this is what happens, you know? So in this situation, it wasn't a kid who was being bullied, who was an outcast or any of that. He was just obviously dealing with his father's death and was depressed and didn't want to be here and showed no outward signs that anything was wrong with him. None whatsoever. How's everybody doing tonight? I mean, you guys feeling me on that about these kids and how we really need to be there? I mean, there used to be villages around children. There used to be villages around kids. People knew the kids in the neighborhood. You knew all the kids. I mean, really knew the kids. And we do know the kids nowadays, but I don't think it's the same way as it was before. You know? I just don't think that it's the same way, because this child, for all intents and purposes, didn't feel he had any other way to express his pain but to end it in such a loud fashion on his birthday. You know, it's, and I don't even know how those other students are going to be feeling. You know, they closed down the school for today. They closed down all the schools up in that area, you know, but then these kids got to go back to school next week and for the rest of the school year. And we really need to, you know, pray for these kids and put strong arms around them in prayer, because we already know that some of the kids that were involved in the Florida shooting, some of those children aren't here anymore. They checked out because they couldn't deal with the PTSD. Hey, Soup Foam. Thanks for coming through, though. I appreciate it. I'm talking about the shooting out here in California with the young man, and how serious mental health is with our kids. And we are seriously missing it. We are missing it because we've got high school kids and college kids that are flipping out to the point that they're coming on the campuses with a gun. And in all of these cases, after the fact, you are seeing that there were some mental health issues going on with that person that sometimes no one seemed to be aware of before. But everyone was aware that this young man was sad about grieving over his father. And I know that everyone goes through the grief process differently. And a lot of us go through the grief process of not wanting to be here and wanting to be with the person who's gone, especially, when you're talking about a child to the parent. It's just crazy that nobody saw anything other than this cloaked message, I guess, that was in social media like the day before. Hey, AKA James. I'm just giving some final thoughts about the school shooting yesterday here in California. So right now, I don't even know did the president even mention this? Because he's been so busy talking about other stuff today. I don't even think in all of his millions of tweets, he even bothered to recognize what happened with these kids out here in California. He's too busy saving his own butt. But like I said before, yesterday, California already has more strict gun laws in this state, but stricter gun laws are not going to fix the mental health issues. We've got to deal with the mental health issues. We have to take the stigma off of people getting therapy and getting counseling. And we need to also come up with other ways other than the medications, because clearly there's issues with meds. Now, this young man obviously wasn't on meds, and I'm not even talking about his situation. I'm just talking about mental health in general. But meds don't work for everyone. For some people, they get rid of the symptoms, but then they're still not themselves. They're so different. It's like they're going through life in a fog, and then they're still not really able to fully function. So there have to be holistic methods to help people with this. And why do we have so many people that are having mental health issues? That's the other question. Why is there so many people having mental health issues and then they're going unchecked? Hey, Terry. That's what I'm saying. I don't think he said anything about it. I don't think he's even mentioned the school shooting out here in California. He's too busy saving his behind and talking trash. Ugh. That man. Yeah, I'm gonna go back and look in his tweets, but I don't believe he said anything. I don't think he said anything. He's too busy talking about the former ambassador to Ukraine, defaming her and, other trash. Because I don't even have to read the man's tweets to know what he tweeted. Because once he tweets, everybody talks about what he tweeted. But I did get a chance to actually watch today's hearings, and I'm going to talk about those in a few minutes as soon as I finish my thoughts in regards to the school shooting and mental health. So the other thing that I really, really, really believe is that our kids are dealing with a lot more trauma, and they're seeing a lot more trauma. I mean, just the fact that it's normalized for us to be at war and for fathers to be away at war, and mothers to be away at war. Just the fact that that's normalized in our society right now, is one thing. The other thing is that we have so much that goes on with kids when they're not at home, when they're not in their parents' care, when they're at school. The orange one is trying to appear. I know he is. I know he's trying to appear unbothered, but whatever. And even though we, as a nation, do try to recognize mental health, like having a month for it, like we have for everything else, but I really think that it's going to come down to the state and city level to deal with this. We've got to have, mental health centers that are being sponsored, not just in county buildings. And what I'm saying, I'll give an example, because like at my church in Inglewood, it is considered a mental health facility for LA County, because we are able to give counseling, and we have 2 licensed, psychologists that are members of the church that operate those services for free out of our church. So, but that's not something that you even see commonly being done. I mean, you just basically have, the county agencies, and you don't have the external community getting involved in this. Now, once we're grown-ups, a lot of our jobs have things for us for mental health, but I'm talking about when these kids are growing up, I mean, therapy wasn't a thing that was even given a thought when I was growing up, but with all of the things that I'm seeing, and it's clear that we're having more kids that potentially have something going on, be it because of life experiences or because of things that were done to them, like, being medicated when they were younger. So now they do have issues because they were medicated. Y'all know how I feel about the meds being given to kids. So that's why I'm more on the holistic method to deal with it, and making sure that we have things like peer counseling, because the reality is that kids are more likely to talk to another kid than they are to talk to an adult. And when I was growing up, we not only had the teen, suicide hotline, they also had another hotline the kids could just talk to other teens who were obviously trained to talk to them, to keep, if they felt like they were in crisis, if they were runaways, if they were in, kind of crazy situations at home. So they had that counseling available. And I don't see a lot of that going on in communities anymore. And you would think that it would be more prominent now that we've got things like social media, internet. I mean, all kinds of means for that to happen. Because they certainly use those means to, come at kids and, make them feel some kind of way. I know that, like, right now, Instagram is getting ready to do something where they're going to test out removing likes so that people can't see other people's likes. You can only see the likes on your own pictures, but you can't see the likes on other people's pictures. And of course, you have some people who they get paid for likes, on Instagram who are concerned that that might, cost them money. But I understand why Instagram is doing that. They're doing that because kids, you have so many kids that literally live for likes. And if nobody likes their picture, they're depressed. They're in a dark place. Over people liking them or liking their picture or liking what they put up, because that makes them feel like people notice them, that they're popular. And so Instagram is supposed to be instituting that to try to help with that. And then we all know about what YouTube is doing now. But they're doing this now because they've been sued to protect kids. So all channels on YouTube are going to have to determine if they are for or not for kids. I'm not for kids, FYI. I talk about things that may pertain to kids, like autism, but my son's an adult. He still has autism. So, when I'm talking about it, I'm really aiming my conversation at adults, at parents, or caregivers, or people who may know kids on the spectrum or adults on the spectrum, to make them be knowledgeable. And if a kid wanders in on one of my videos, okay, they're family friendly, but I didn't put it out there for a kid. And so they're going to have, I think, a kid YouTube. Which brings me to my next subject. The moms that are on YouTube vlogging and getting paid by YouTube that have their kids all up in their videos and stuff. And what's going to happen to their channels with this new thing coming through. People like Chrissy, Strong Mommy Chrissy. And there was a conversation about her. Well, let me just say, all of YouTube is talking about this woman, so I'm going to talk about her too. We're all talking about her. And like I said last night, I like her, I like her hustle, I like her grind, but there's a couple of things that another one of the bigger YouTubers brought up today, which is a really good point. This chick has 9 kids. And she's always on YouTube. And she's always uploading videos. And her videos are always in the bathroom. So you have to think about it. If she's always in the bathroom doing videos, doing live chats or whatever, or she's in her car at Starbucks drinking her coffee on live chat, you don't see no kids in the car with her. Who's watching her kids? Who is watching those 9 children? And none of them are teenagers, FYI. I think the oldest might be 12. But she has them all the way down to less than a year old. Hey, QI, Critical Thinking Reloaded, how are you? Yeah, I mean, she had an opportunity when she went and had this last child to have her tubes tied. She had an opportunity to do that, and she did not do that. Now, I get it. She's only 29, but you already have 9 children. You already have 9 children. And, people were talking about C-sections and stuff. This chick cannot possibly have been having C-sections. She must be having these kids the natural way, for the most part. Because There's a limit on how many kids you can have via C-section, and it's not 9. I think you can have like 2 or 3, maybe 2 or 3. I'm not sure. I forget, but it's a lower number, and I know that because my best friend who has 6 kids, because she had a C-section with her first child, and it was an emergency C-section. They had to do it. They tried to make her do a C-section with her second child, and she wouldn't do it because she knew she wanted to have a bunch of kids. And if she did a C-section with the second child after having that first C-section with the first child, it was going to limit her ability to have kids, have as many kids as she wanted to have, because you can't have them cutting on your body all that many times, having C-sections. It just doesn't happen. So I know that this Chrissy chick is not having C-sections, but she's also not giving hasn't given her body a break. And I don't know why she wouldn't just get her tubes tied. Now the chick lives in Nevada. So even if she's making money on YouTube, and according to her, how many followers she has and how many, and her AdSense and everything, she should be making a pretty penny on here. However, she rents where she lives. And if she got 9 kids, she's got whatever Nevada's equivalent is to Medi-Cal, whatever their Medi-Cal is. Bet you she has that for them 9 kids. Bet you she gets food stamps. Because although she does YouTube, for all intents and purposes, she doesn't have a job. Now, she could probably, she does doing wigs and stuff. And does tutorials on how to make wigs, and she makes wigs for people. So maybe she can turn her channel into that. But she's gonna have to think about it, because come the beginning of the year, she ain't gonna be able. She's not gonna make any money on all of these videos that she's made with her kids in it anymore. Even though her channel is technically, I don't know if her channel is not geared towards kids, I would say, but she got kids all up in her videos. Her kids are in her videos, other than the ones where she's locked in the bathroom half the day because she got 9 kids. But and then you have the other, parent channels where it's about their kids. See, my channel's about me. And because my adult child has autism, I talk about autism. And there are a lot of kids that are affected with autism. But I don't have no kids on my channel. And because I have an adult, also talk about the adult issues with autism. So I'm just wondering what's going to happen with people like her. And I mean, she don't have no backup plan, y'all. Y'all know that girl don't have no backup plan. Oh, the daddy of the last 2 kids, Terry, he went back to Texas, where he's from. He went back to Texas. Yeah. But he's only the dad of the last 2 children. The rest of the kids, there's 5 other people that are the dads of the rest of the kids. Yeah. So yeah, she got 6 baby daddies. Her husband, who she's still married to because they're not divorced yet. Her husband, who left her and went back to Texas, is the father of her baby and the one who had the penny stuck in his throat that she vlogged about as she was taking the emergency room. Yeah. Yeah. He's a piece of work too. She had babies by trash. I mean, she should have known he was trash after she had Junebug, I guess the child's name is. And then before she had the kid she has now, the baby. I don't know what she was thinking. Because he left her all the way pregnant with that baby. Yeah, he went back to Texas, and then he went back to his baby's mama from before her, who he has a couple of kids with that he's not taking care of either. Because that's the kind of dude he is. So, she didn't pick them. Because I don't think any of her kids' fathers take care of their kids. I don't think any of them do. But if you look at her videos, this chick wanted to have all these kids. I don't know what she got issues. She is a total mess, which is the irony of calling herself Strong Mommy Chrissy. The irony of calling yourself a strong mommy. I guess she feels she's a strong mommy, because, she keeps getting back up every time she's knocked down. And somehow she's, made it this far, but you're 29 and you have 9 children. You're not even 30 years old yet. And you have 9 children by 6 different men. How is that something to be proud of? Because you are basically the stereotypical Black woman. Teen mom that just keeps having babies. Hey, Miss Mahogany. Yeah, girl. We talking about strong mommy Chrissy. She just, I just keep shaking my head about the girl because I'm trying to figure out what she gonna do when YouTube starts enforcing everything. Is she gonna have a channel? And she needs somebody to help her take care of them kids, or she needs some cooking lessons or something, because she don't cook nothing really for the kids, like real food, like everything is pre-prepared, other than eggs. And she buys them, like the cheapy stuff. Now, I don't have a whole bunch of money to be, spending a whole bunch of money on food either. And I only have 1 kid. But I don't do my groceries. I don't do all my grocery shopping at the 99-cent store and the dollar store for food. I'm just saying. That's not where I buy all my food. Yeah, processed. But she be having the mukbangs, girl, with the seafood. She be eating good. She be eating good. But that's not what them kids be eating. And hey, granted, kids should not be eating seafood, much seafood, expensive seafood. That's true. They shouldn't be doing it. But if you got 9 kids, you shouldn't be eating you shouldn't be having those seafood mukbangs and stuff and wearing Gucci and all of this stuff. Heck, all your money should be going to your kids. They should be eating organic food and all this stuff. You know, because if you got money to go out there and get get all these mukbangs and stuff, and you're making the kind of money that we know you're probably making off of YouTube. And if you don't know how to cook for them kids, girl, you could have the food delivered fresh, or you could hire a chef in Nevada. You know, and you could somehow make it part of your YouTube thing, and somehow, you know, convince them to get their money out of your YouTube money. You could work that, girl, and then your kids would eat right. And then maybe you wouldn't have to lock your refrigerator and everything, and lock the cabinets and whatnot. Keep them out of the food. Because see, how I do it over here, so that we don't have to do that, is we only buy food for a couple of days at a time. And when it's gone, it's gone. So he has learned that we're not eating up all food, because locking up stuff only works for a certain amount of time. Once your kids, those boys you have, get to a certain age, they're going to be able to rip them doors off. So you won't be able to keep them out the pantry. I'm just saying. Because she got mainly boys. I'm not saying that she does, Terry. She just gets a lot of processed food. I mean, like, she gets the frozen pancakes or frozen Eggos. The girl apparently don't know how to make fresh pancakes. You know? She don't get bacon and stuff. She get them little cheap, you know, packs of sausage and gets a bunch of those. You know, the ones that cost $1.39 a piece. You know which ones I'm talking about. And if you go to the 99-cent store, they're 99 cents. But in the regular grocery store, they're $1.39. She buys the stuff that's at the cheaper end of stuff in the store, and not necessarily the best for her 9 kids. And I understand when you got a bunch of kids that you got to stretch, but ain't no healthy stuff in there. You know, fresh produce and stuff. Do you even know how to cook? Because we ain't really seen you cook. And since you were like, I don't know, 16, 17, when you first started having kids, you might not know how to cook, because you may not have ever learned how to cook. It's not healthy. I know. And then the kids, she is big as a house because she didn't have all them kids in such a short period of time and has never let her body heal after a kid. You know, I mean, 9 kids is a lot. And she started having them very, very young, before her body was truly, fully, you know, developed anyway. So, but her kids are all, some of them look like they're not, like they're, you know, they're skinny and everything. So it looks like, you know, maybe they're not being fed like she's being fed. Because, you know, I'm skinny. My son is, you know, little. But if I was a big girl, my son should be a big boy too. Or at least not looking skinny. You know, I mean, I'm just saying. She has people to come out to clean her house 3 times a week. Okay. Okay. Well, I saw her on one of her own videos when she was pregnant. She videotaped herself cleaning. And I don't know what she was cleaning because it looked like water. I'm assuming she put some bleach in that water, but hell, who knows? We don't know. I saw her doing the cleaning herself. So, I don't know. But if I had 9 kids, I certainly have somebody in there. I would have somebody in there helping me with all those kids, especially if I had a YouTube channel. You should have enough coming in from YouTube with all that's coming in that you should have somebody in to help you with your kids. I mean, you know, if she was smart, she would put it together and been pitched trying to have a reality show. If she was a smart girl, she'd have done that with all them daggone kids. Then she wouldn't have to worry about YouTube or anything, you know. Then she truly could afford to have somebody come in, you know, and she would get herself into a position where she can buy a house. How are you making that kind of money on YouTube and you ain't bought you a house? Yeah, ain't nobody cleaning that girl's house. She cleaning her. She trying to do it herself. You know, so I don't know what's going on. You know, but because she moved from where she was before. Because now, remember where she is now. She moved into this place when homeboy went back to Texas. So I think she probably couldn't afford where she was before anymore. So that's why she had to move. I'm assuming. But she need to learn. Somebody need to go give that girl some cooking lessons. And with all the fans that she has, don't she have people? Don't she have all them super chats and everything? Can't somebody just donate her some real groceries, or donate some cooking lessons, or donate somebody coming in to cook for her, so those kids get to eat some good food? Or she just gonna keep? Or she just gonna keep spending money on herself? Strong Mommy Chrissy. And Chrissy is with 2 S's. It's Strong Mommy Chrissy. She has 9 children. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. But you know, the black manosphere has them and the red pill dudes. They didn't drag this chick. They've been dragging her, dragging her. You know, and then all of Black YouTube has had something to say about it, because we're all shaking our heads like, girl, what's wrong with you? And especially with the YouTube changes that are coming, we're all like, oh, her and them other ones, they got them channels like that. They may not be able to survive. Oh yeah, trifling is definitely, yeah, definitely. You know, I mean, and She can't get no man to stay with her. At this particular point, I mean, ain't no man gonna want to get with a chick that got 9 children by 6 different men. And you're not even 30 yet. They run from people that got more than two kids. You know, guys will run if you got more than 2. Oh yeah, that one too. I know. Mommy of 12, man, she tripping too. And they so proud of themselves though, you know, having all them daggone kids. You know, and that's not even what the issue is. The issue is that you don't appear to have it all together. You know? And hopefully, whatever Chrissy's going through, you know, she don't take out her anxieties and stuff on them kids. You know what I mean? Because that's a lot of kids to have. And without having someone else there to help you raise those children, that's a lot of stress. A lot of stress. You know? And I mean, do they get to do anything other than, you know, eat, sleep, and go to school? Can you afford to do anything for the kids? You should be able to afford to do things for the kids. But are you doing things for the kids? Yep. I know. I've seen her too. Jazz for life. Jazzy for life. Hey, DLD. How you doing? We're talking about strong mommy Chrissy right now. And it's so funny because I remember like maybe about a month or so ago, Tanya TKO tried to get her to come on her channel because she was, you know, she wanted to, you know, talk to her and kind of use it as what she calls her teachable moments. And Chrissy wasn't trying to come over there. And Tanya TKO had all the Chrissy, Strong Mommy Chrissy fans in her chat trolling, you know, talking all this trash. And I mean, I'm like, I'm subscribed to the girl's channel too, but I just go by there every now and then just to see if she's still surviving with all them daggone kids, you know, because I'm surprised she don't have a drinking problem. Strong Mommy Chrissy, the one that got 9 kids by 6 baby daddies. Hey, Blind Needle. How are you? Yeah. She calls herself Strong Mommy Chrissy, you know, but she appears to be anything but strong. You know, but I guess that's who she wants to be. That's who she strives to be. Well, you know, the last baby's daddy, she's married to him still, but he's trash. He's trash. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know if all her kids' dads are black. I'm not sure. Because some of them kids are really, really fair-skinned. But I think it's just that their daddies are fair-skinned. know. Chrissy's the trip. Yeah, that's why I didn't say nothing. Yeah, she'll block you. She blocks anybody that says anything that she doesn't want to hear. She's living in her own reality. Chrissy is living in her own reality. You know, I feel for her, but it's like, you know, you made these choices. You didn't make good choices, and now you have 9 kids. So now you really do need to have a plan B in case YouTube blows up for you. You know? I mean, but she's been on YouTube for years. She's been on here for years. You know? And I'm not saying she clearly has had jobs outside of the home, but with 9 kids, what job outside of the home would she have at this point in life? What other job would she have? So I don't see why homegirl don't get together a team and figure out how to pitch for a reality show. That's what I would do if I were her. Yeah. No, she don't believe in birth control. She believes in the pull-out method, girl. She believes in the pull-out method. Pull-out method is a sure way to have a child. Pulling out. Yeah. The pull-out method. What kind of foolishness is that? What kind of foolishness is that? People still believe in the pull-out method. That's right. That's right, Juanita. She need to keep her legs closed. I mean, seriously. She had 9 children by age 29. No, she doesn't take criticism well. Because she's very defensive. Nonetheless, her, Jazzy for Life, and that other chick are the topics, or the hot topics of conversation. Even freaking Tommy Sotomayor has had something to say. The hell? He has something to say about everything. Even Tommy had something to say. Well, you know, she need to get a thick skin. She needs something. She don't need to be having no more kids. None of them need to be having any more kids. You know? I mean, God said be fruitful and multiply, but this is not what he meant. You know, that was supposed to be with one partner, not 6. I'm just saying. I just don't. In my head, I'm trying to understand the younger generation and how they feel okay having multiple babies' daddies, you know, I can understand 2 at the most. I can understand that. You know what I mean? Because maybe, you know, you with somebody, didn't work out, then you get with someone else later on, and y'all decide to have another kid. But 6, and the one who has 12 kids, you know, I mean, I doubt that was all one person. I mean, it's not like when my mom was growing up, because my mom is one of 11, but it was one mama and one daddy that had with all 11 of those kids, and it was 11 single births, you know. But that was also back in the 30s when people had a lot of kids. You know what I mean? That's when people had a lot of kids, but they had a lot of kids with one baby daddy. And that was also in the South, because my mom was from New Orleans. No, man, how could she possibly get to know these men well? How could she possibly? I mean, I don't know how well she knew. I'm assuming, because I forget the chronological. Maybe the person she knew the most was the one she married, and she really didn't know him either. But some of the other ones, it's like she got pregnant after 1 or 2 times of being with them. So yeah, and and some of those babies were with men she wasn't even in an actual relationship with. Exactly. 6 daddies, Terry. Don't that sound crazy? That sounds so crazy. You know? But that's how they see young black women. They see young black women as being, you know, go back to slavery, you know, good for bearing babies. That's what the you know, that's what they were good for. They would take what they called, you know, the wenches and keep them pregnant all the time. And that's the mentality that she's feeding into. Hey, Sparks. Girl, we talking about strong mommy Chrissy. And then the other, you know, ones that are on the YouTube with their million kids and their million daddies. You know, telling us how strong they are, but child, how strong are you when you were foolish enough to have all of these babies by all of these people? And it doesn't matter if you think that this was your plan. You can tell us that this is what you wanted. This is how you plan things. You can say that all you want. Miss me with that. Because if that's what you really planned, then you're more messed up than what we thought. Nobody plans to have all them babies' daddies. It just happened. You were irresponsible. And most of your children were not planned, at least not by you and the baby daddy. You might have been planning to have a baby to trap him, but girl, no. Exactly. You know, you want to know something about their medical history. you know, like their blood type. Do they carry the sickle cell trait? Do they not carry the sickle cell trait? Little things like that. You know, things that I did know about my ex-husband. He didn't even know his blood type. I made him go find out what his blood type was so I could know what his blood type was. Also made him go make sure that he didn't carry the sickle cell trait because he didn't know. I knew that I did not. I mean, it's all kinds of stuff, you know. And you do definitely want to know about mental illness. People, you know, because schizophrenia and that kind of stuff runs in families. I can tell you that I have cousins, you know, in part of my family where in that part of the family that's not related to me, it runs through, you know, the other person's family. And so I have cousins that are affected by that. You know? And those are the kind of things you want to know. You really want to know. You know, about genetics, you know, diabetes, cancer, all of that. You just want to have an idea. Because if you don't know all of that stuff, how are you going to tell your child? How's your child going to know any of that stuff? You know, because you don't know that much about their daddy. The one thing I can give the girl is that at least she knows who her children's, each one of them kids' father is. You know, because you got some of them, they don't even know, they don't know for sure who the baby's daddies are. At least she knows for sure who the 6 fathers are of her kids. At least she knows that. You know? And she ain't like them chicks to be popping up on the Maury show. Yep, addictions too. That's very right. Our predispositions. Our predisposition to being to addictions. Yeah, well, you know, because they know everything. Child. I'm like, I did not have my one and only child until I was over the age of 30. So maybe I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. Okay. But what I do know is that she's tripping not having had her tubes tied after this 9th child. I'm like, you know, I know supposedly the myth is that after you've had a certain amount of kids, you stop having to pay for delivery and everything, but we don't know that that's true. You know. And, you know, maybe she's got plenty of clothes to be handing down between the kids and everything. But if she's giving babies formula, that formula by itself is very, very expensive. The diapers are very, very expensive. And at least 2 of her kids are probably in diapers. You know, probably the 2-year-old is probably still in diapers. And then the baby's still in diapers. You know, and then the formula is like what? Between $130 and $160 a week? Yeah, exactly. For a week's supply. Crazy. I was thankful because my dad was a doctor and he had all them companies to ship all of that stuff. I had formula the entire time that I never had to pay for. I never had to pay for it when I finally did put my son on formula. But, you know, I did the nursing thing too. That's always a cheaper method, you know, but still got to buy diapers unless she's doing cloth diapers. And then that means she has a diaper service, you know. All them kids are, she gets WIC. Yep. And there you have it. And there you have it. Because of how many kids she has, they don't care how much money she makes. It's based on the fact she has all those children. They already know. That girl that, you know, that girl, I mean, I guess she graduated from high school, probably. They already know. She needs WIC with all them daggone kids. She probably has free health care for all of her children, too. Because she got all them kids. And again, her income don't even matter. Because she got all them kids. To get all the free services. So we already know she's getting a lot of services, you know. And she's not defrauding because she can legally get all of those things because of her kids. And because of how many kids she has. Once you get over a certain amount of kids, income is no longer a factor in getting those services. What, she lied about getting food stamps, or she lied and said she didn't have food stamps? You still here? Thank you. Mahogany, what did she do? She lied about getting the food stamps? Did she lie about getting them? Well, the food stamps thing, yeah, that one's a... Oh, she lied about getting them. Oh. I don't know why. Shoot. My son can't. My son can't even qualify for food stamps. And he don't make no money, but he can't get food stamps because he's a single person. And I guess he would have to be getting like $500 or $600 a month in order for them to give him food stamps. So he doesn't get it. So she lied about that. What is the big deal, girl? You got 9 kids. If I had 9 kids, I would take every service that I could possibly get for my kids and then some. And I would have been pitched me a show. I mean, especially after you saw, you know, that the other ones, you know, the lady, Katie, +8. Man, girl. She need to get out there and get her some money. Because I don't know how much longer she gonna last on YouTube. She's not losing subscribers. She goes to the grocery store once a month. Who does that? With 9 kids, how do you go to the grocery store only once a month with 9 children? I can't go to the grocery store once a month with just me and my son. That doesn't even make sense. Once a month. Sometimes 2, but it's once a month. Ciao. She being cheap on things she does for her kids and spends the bulk of that money on herself, it appears then. No problem, Blindito. We still talking about this crazy girl. We're still talking about her. But see, man, and they, I don't know why they think that what they're doing is the best method and won't take any criticism that might help them to learn. Yeah, she's a mess. I know that. Once a month. You got 9 kids and you generally go to the grocery store once a month. That's why she locks up everything. So when she gets her YouTube check, she'll go buy them food. And I understand you get paid once a month, but she should be making enough money from YouTube that she can do better than that. Because she lives in Nevada. So even though she has a place with her 9 kids, she's not paying a whole bunch of rent. Not in Nevada. She needs someone to help her with navigating the experience. Hell, if Yvonne Von Zant wasn't such a mess herself, and I don't think that this girl would even listen to her, I'd say she need to go to Yvonne. You know? Get her life together. Get your life together, sister. Don't be pretending on YouTube. She's 29 years old, DLD. 29. She just turned 29 on her last birthday, like 2 months ago. She just turned 29. Yep, just turned 29. Because I think her birthday was right after she had the baby. Oh, she gets Section 8. That's how she got that place. Because she got 9 kids. Again, when you have all those children, nobody cares how much money you make. Because they realize that it's going to be pretty hard for you to be out having a regular day job with 9 kids. So you need every assistance you can get. Man, child, I wish my son could get Section 8, which he is legally entitled to. And I'm in the process of trying to figure out how to get that so that I can use that for him, you know, until I buy a house. But I know with Section 8, even in Nevada, people, I don't know what people's stigma is with Section 8. But I think the stigma is not so much the Section 8, but it's the people who come with the Section 8. Because they're usually ghetto fabulous. And that's saying it nicely. It's subsidized housing, Blind Needle. is when the county or the city helps pay your rent. And it's generally when you're below a certain income. It's generally based on income, usually. Or if you have a disability, like as in my son's case. Because of his disability and him being on SSI, he qualifies for Section 8. Yeah, Terry, she gets Section 8. Yeah, she was like 16 or 17 when she had her first kid, but she is only 29. She's only 29. You know, so she's been pregnant, you know, most of her adult life. Because she's been pregnant 9 times. I'm like, ooh, you know, I think about the fact that my grandmother had 11 kids, but she didn't look like she had 11 kids. My best friend had 6 kids. She doesn't look like she had 6 kids. But Chrissy, she has just jacked her body up doing this. It's gonna take a minute for her body to heal from what she's been doing to it for the last 10 or so years. Yeah, I think she had an abortion, or I think she's had some abortions or some miscarriages in there. Yeah, you're right, Mahogany. She would have had more kids. But I think she may have had a miscarriage, some miscarriages, or I think she may have had some abortions too. And yet and still, she still has 9. She still got 9 kids. Yeah, I mean, they know they're going to get their money. You know, and I'm assuming because of how many kids she has, she probably is getting, you know, probably whatever the maximum is that you can get for Section 8, which is why she's able to rent a house. Because I think she's in like a 4 or 5 bedroom house. And I think she's like in the Henderson area. But yeah, she's in Nevada. She is in Nevada. And it makes sense that she has Section 8. That totally makes sense. You know, because the reality is that even though she makes all this money, you know, that we say she you know, she's basically making, I mean, even if she's making at the low end, she's still making a lot of money on YouTube. YouTube money is not promised because she's basically self-employed. Yep, exactly. So, I mean, her Section 8 is keeping a roof over her head. Her food stamps are keeping food. And yeah, they give food stamps out once a month. So, and now they give it to you on a card. They don't even give them the actual books of food stamps anymore. They give them like a EBT card with the food. And they can only use the money on the card for food. If they want to use it for anything else, they have to take it off the card and pay cash. And the only reason I know that is because while my son was waiting for his SSI to come through, he got them daggone food stamps and was getting whatever the county was giving while he was waiting. He got that stuff. Now, of course, y'all know as soon as he got his SSI, that the SSI had to pay them back for the food stamps and whatever that he got during those couple of months. I don't care. He didn't have to pay. They just took it out of his SSI for them couple of months. Yeah, they put it on a card because he had a card. And he got it for like a couple of months. It helped him too. That helped. You know, that was extra stuff for him. Extra food for him. I get all the food services that he qualifies for. I go to those food banks and get fresh produce and stuff for my son to add to the food pot up in this camp. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. There's all kinds of stuff, ways that she could be getting better products and stuff. And in some instances, I'm sure just like here in California, they have food banks where you can go get, fresh produce and everything and stuff. So she could do that in addition to her once a month haul. But she ain't thinking about that. She just thinking that the world is against her, I guess. No, we ain't against you, but we just are seeing that some of the stuff that you are doing should not be on YouTube. If you didn't put it on YouTube, we wouldn't be talking about it. We're talking about it because you put it on YouTube. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I know they have those in Nevada. I know they have them in Nevada too. They have them all over the country. And generally they'll have like they generally will stock like fresh produce and stuff. They even sometimes will have, meat and stuff, other things. Because I just don't see her going to the store once a month being sufficient for 9 children. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I know they give out meat. I have seen it. My phone is about to die, so I'm coming right back. I'm just walking across the room to go get my charger. My phone is going to die. It's going to die. So I'm bringing it back over here. Yeah. I had to go get my charger. Everything is on I want to die. except for the laptop. Everything is on I want to die. That's what everything is on. Okay. Now it's plugged in. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, and she don't want to take she don't want to take any advice from anybody. Because of course we don't know what we're talking about. We can't know what we're talking about. You know? I don't have to have 9 kids to know that what you're doing is not the right way to be raising, be taking care of all of the kids, and that you clearly need help. And even if your mother is there supposedly helping you out and everything, one of your kids swallowed a coin. So clearly you need additional help. You know? But she's going to continue to do things the way she's doing it. And I just see everything as being self-destructive. And she don't have a plan B. And if that YouTube channel blows up on her, what's going to happen to all them kids? I know. She need them food shares. She need them right now. She need them right now. Because here's the thing. Yes, she does get a check from YouTube, and it comes once a month. So I don't know why she's trying to perpetrate that she doesn't need public assistance when she still does. Here's the thing. We all know that YouTube is not a stable form of income for anyone that has 9 children. It's just not. No matter how many subscribers she has. So be proud of the things that you have, that you are taking advantage of for your children. Exactly. But you know, that chick is proud. She got all this pride going on, but don't let your pride, hurt you and your kids. That's all we're saying. And stop. And now you got the 9 kids, okay? You got 9 kids and you got 6 baby daddies. But what can you do to turn around this destructive image that you perpetrated and that you believe is the right, is a good way of life? You can't change what you've already done because the kids are here now. But don't promote it. Be real about what's really going on. Don't be acting like everything's fine and dandy. That's what I'm saying, DOD. It goes up and down. It's not stable. And they can demonetize. You might think all your videos for that month are monetized, and they demonetize half of them. And your check has now been cut in half. Because especially with all of this stuff that's coming down the pike, you know her money got to be starting to look funny. And because of the type of channel she is, her channel is about her and her kids. If she take her kids off, it's going to look really strange. Number one, but that's what she's branded her. It's going to affect her branding. So I don't know what the heck she's going to do. But if I were her, I would show real life and be real about what's going on. If I were her. I mean, yeah, well, I mean, you know DOD because you're monetized, you know what I mean? And when I get monetized, I know that it's going to take a minute before I get any money, and then it's going to take an hour more from that before it becomes something even steady. And you know, I mean, it's going to take a while. And even when you get to the point where you have it steady, every time you turn around, YouTube makes some changes. So that's going to affect how you get monetized. And this change that they have now is a huge change. So it's definitely going to affect how she gets monetized. She does. She just boo-hoos, cries. It's everyone else's fault. It's everyone else's fault. Everyone else's fault. It's never her. But, sweetie, if 6 men have impregnated you and not one of them has stayed with you, including the one you're married to, maybe it's you and what you are attracting to you. Maybe it's something in you that's causing this. It can't be everybody else. Heck yeah. And I mean, when she started on YouTube, she didn't have 9 kids, but she had a lot. I think she had 6 or 7 of them when she started on YouTube. She already had a lot of them when she started her YouTube channel. But the last 2, she, you know, were born while she's been doing her YouTube channel. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to watch her last video. Because you see what I'm saying? What is it about you? I mean, that makes somebody sign away twins. So he didn't want the kids. Obviously, he didn't want to have no kids with her. He didn't want to have them kids with her. Oh, you're working on it, DOD. You're closer to it than I am. You got more hours towards it than I have, because I'm still in the I know I have more than 100. So I'm in the hundreds. You know, I like it when I get over like 1,000 hours. And I'm starting to get up that hill. you know. But in the meantime, I'm gonna just keep growing my channel. I'm gonna expand how I do these lives. I'm gonna, you know, start doing panels on certain things and make it into more of something like a talk show. Yeah, I can't imagine. That's awful. I forgot about that, Mahogany. I forgot about that. I forgot that about that situation with the twins. But you know, that's about her. That's not really even about the kids, in all actuality. Yeah, he didn't want to have kids. Yep. He didn't want to have babies with her. So he, in his head, he figures she got what she wanted. So here's your babies. I don't want to have nothing to do with them. That doesn't stop them from being his kids. He just doesn't want to have anything to do with them because she's their mother. That's deep. That's deep right there. He don't want to have nothing to do with those kids because of who their mother is. Yeah, it's not even about the kids. You know? But unfortunately, they're going to suffer because of that. Oh. They don't like your content? That's BS. I know 3 people I know got monetized this week. One I know is a gamer in the UK, and she just got the subscribers this week, but she had the hours like over a month ago. And I've been in her lives and stuff, and it's funny, you know, and it's addicting if you get in those lives when they're in there playing a game, and you know, they have people up on a panel talking, or they're talking to you and everything. But the gamers also some of the loyalist ones to get to subscribe to you, because if you can get gamers to subscribe to you, because BloodX came in my chat last night too. He's huge. But it's coming, DOD. It's coming. Just keep putting your content out and stuff, you know. Just keep doing it, because you know, hopefully they'll like my content too. I don't know. They may not like my live stream content. They may only like my video content. Like I said, they may like my video content, but they may not like my live stream content. I mean, my live stream content is all over the place. You know, I'm usually just talking about what's going on right now in my live streams, but it's hard to say what they want, because one of the channels that got monetized, he does eating, but he eats like bizarre things. It's called Rico's Bizarre Foods, and that's what he does. He eats like crazy stuff. But his live streams can be about anything, you know, and they can get funny, they can get wild, they can get deep, you know. So, and he got through in 24 hours. So I don't know what they're looking for. You know what I mean? I don't know what they're looking for. Maybe, I guess, you know, maybe they just want to be safe and only, but I can't see that, because some of the other ones that are talking about Black issues are monetized. They monetized, and they're talking about Black issues. So it's just gonna take some of your videos to get, I guess, a whole bunch of views, maybe, for them to monetize. But you got the hours and everything. I would just keep doing it, and keep going back, you know, every time you can, and resubmit it. Because I just knew they had already done you, because I knew you had the hours. Hey, how you doing, 1SP? We've been talking about our favorite YouTuber, Strong Mommy Chrissy. She's not my favorite YouTuber. She's my favorite YouTuber to talk about today, though. The girl has issues. That's right, guys. Smash that like button, but I know. Yeah, I know. I want you to get monetized too. I want everybody to get monetized. You know, that's putting out quality content. It don't make sense for the ones who are doing stupid stuff to get monetized. And then if you got a quality channel, you know, that could potentially become bigger and everything, that's just stupid. Because, like, the gaming channels, it's easy. They don't seem to have any issues getting monetized. As long as they use non-copyright music on their gaming videos, they're pretty much walkthroughs. You know, but I'm not a gaming channel. And I don't know, I'm gonna reach out to a couple of the I'm going to reach out to a couple of the autism channels that are monetized and see what they went through when they got monetized. Because they've been on here for a while. So. I said 1SP, didn't I? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yep, I'm just grinding. It's like once I got to the 1K, I'm trying to get that next 100, and it's taking forever. It's taking me forever to get to 1100. I think I'm in the 90s, even though it says, I think I'm like at 90, 91 or something. So I'm close to 1100, but not quite there. I'm just glad it's Friday. It's been a rough week. And the TV has been flooded today with Mr. Trump's impeachment hearings. And I did actually watch a little bit of that. And I just think that some of the Republicans were so rude to that lady. Maria, I'm going to massacre her last name, so I'm not going to say it. First name Maria, the former ambassador to Ukraine. When she was on there talking, and I mean, I don't know why the president tried to discredit her. And they tried to discredit it, though she had nothing to say and nothing to add to the conversation, because I found what she had to say to be quite interesting. You know, the thing is that, you know, it is at the president's pleasure as to who he wants to serve in any capacity as an ambassador, you know, but she pretty much had a very unblemished record and had been there since Reagan. So, you know, she wasn't like a Democratic pick to be an ambassador and to do that type of work. Yet and still, oh, thank you, 1SP. But yet and still, this president thought he had to give excuses for why he was letting her go, and talked about her and basically, you know, sullied her name and her reputation as, you know, being a good ambassador and doing her job, just so he could legitimize why he put her out of that position. He put her out of that position because she wasn't going to do what he wanted to be done in that position, and he put somebody in there that he would. Let's be clear about it. And so now they're not trying to deal with it from the quid pro quo. Now they're trying, you know, deal with it from something more criminal. Oh, I know. I'm sorry. I'll try to be more motivating, 1SP. I try. It's just been a kind of rough week, and so I'm not able to talk about light stuff right now. But yeah, the impeachment hearings today, she gave very good. She made very good points in her testimony. I felt that some of the Republican senators were very rude to her. I mean, wouldn't even let her finish a sentence and tried to overtalk her, you know, which I don't think was even necessary. So I'm still where I was 2 days ago. I still am of the mindset that they've given me enough that they at least should probably figure something out. And I feel that they should look at this as a pattern of bad behavior. You know, and hopefully after what he did today, talking trash about this woman, you know, because it was really witness intimidation. You know, granted, he couldn't have known she would hear about the tweets, you know, but even if it wasn't meant to intimidate her, it was meant to intimidate anybody who comes behind her. So oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you, 1SP. I'll probably be in a much happier mood tomorrow. Because between now and my next live stream, I promise you guys, we'll finish up some more of A Song for You by Robin Crawford, so we can talk about that book. And so I can let you guys know about it and let y'all know what she's saying in the book. Because everybody loved Whitney. And that's why I want to read this book, because I want to make sure that she's not saying anything too bad about my girl. You know? But DLD, I didn't know that was up. Well, we're gonna have to. Well, maybe we can do some stuff so that we can get us both the content that they're looking for. You know what I mean? Maybe do some panels, and they'll like those for both of us. You know? But I'm like, you have football content, you did the hearings and stuff. What the heck? You got good content. They're tripping. They're tripping, Lefford. I mean, you know. One SP. Well, you know what I mean. We loved the performer she was. Maybe not the person she was. But I just want to make sure that whatever Robin put in this book, you know, is real. Because, you know, I'm going to go back and ask my cousin. Because my cousin hung out with her, too. My cousin hung out with Nip, too. So I'll ask my cousin, too. But, you know, she didn't have the kind of relationship with Whitney that Robin did. You know, their relationship was more hanging out, partying, getting high, you know, that kind of stuff. I know. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, 1SP. He has good commentary. And it's more organized than mine. You see where mine is. I do it as not so random chat. But I'm still giving my commentary. I'm still giving my commentary. And I wander around a bunch of different things, you know, but I'm Black. So that's going to come up in some of my conversations. It just is. You know? It just is. Because it's part of who I am. You know? And that's why autism comes up in some of my conversations. Because it's part of who I am. You know? Dealing with it with my son. I'm not on the spectrum, but I got a kid on the spectrum. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I know someone who personally like knew her. I met her one time when I was with my cousin. You know, other than that, she was on stage to me. You know, so of course I want to read this book. I want to see this perspective, but I can tell you from what I've read so far, it doesn't put Sissy Houston in a very good light. It doesn't. It just looks like she was really, really, really controlling when it came to Whitney and who was around her and what she did. But I can tell you, when Robin met Whitney, she was already smoking cigarettes and she was already getting high at 17. So we all know, I mean, even if the world wants to blame her drugs on Bobby ain't had nothing to do with that. That was all her. Hey, Blind Nito. Thank you for coming back. We only going to go for like maybe another 15 minutes at most. But it'll be interesting to see if this book does well, as to if this is yet another movie. You know what I mean? That they try to make this one into a movie. And Robin was on the Wendy Williams show earlier this week. And I caught that interview. And, you know, she talked, you know, I mean, her conversation about it, you know, she seems sincere. I'm like, but you can tell she's been through some things, because, you know, I think Robin's like what, like 60? I think she's like 60. And she kind of looks close to her age. She kind of looks close to her age to me. You know? But that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion in regards to her. Yeah. You know, I went to Catholic school too. And like I said, I did something before I got to high school, that almost got me put out of Catholic school forever. Ever. And so when I got to high school, at school, I didn't cause no problems. As far as they were concerned, I was an angel. And it's like the people that went to high school with me know nothing about what I had done before I got to high school. Because I think only a couple of people that I went to high school with had gone to elementary school with me. And they weren't saying nothing. And neither was I. But yeah, she was already smoking cigarettes at 17. And she was already smoking weed. She was already doing both of those things at 17. You know? And, you know, I mean, like I tell you guys all the time, Whitney and I would be the same age if she was still here. And I didn't smoke cigarettes, but I had friends who smoked cigarettes when we were in high school, because, you know, in the late 70s, early 80s, that was a thing. A lot, you know, that was a thing. I don't know why, but yeah, that was a thing. Smoking cigarettes. I guess people wanted to do it to feel grown. I did my stint, but I don't smoke them anymore. But I did my stint of being a cigarette smoker. Yep. They thought I was like, that's okay. You can think I'm an L7 square if you want to. That's what I want you to think. That's what I want you to think. You know, that's what I wanted them to think, you know? I ain't getting no trouble at school. As far as they knew, I was the nerdy smart girl. That's it. That's about it. And I went to Catholic school. But when I left school, yeah. Don't mess with my little brother and sister, or I'm gonna mess you up. That was me. Don't mess with them, or I'm gonna mess you up. Oh, you think I can't fight because I go to Catholic school? Come on, let's do this. That was me. So I was a little bit of a fighter. Maybe a little bit of a lot of fighter. But I don't do that anymore. I'm too old to be catching the case. You know? But back in the day, you know, there was another side of me. And she's still there. She just doesn't come out to play very often. Hey, Dollar Tree. How are you doing, girl? I haven't seen you in a minute. Yeah, but I was the oldest, so you mess with my sister and brother, then you messing with me. I was always like that. I was like that when we lived in the city, in DC, in the hood, and I was even more like that when we moved to the suburbs. Because when we moved to the suburbs, yeah, there weren't a whole bunch of people of color on our street. You know? And that has changed. Now that whole neighborhood is pretty much black now, but back then it wasn't. You know, it was mainly, you know, white. And my sister was friends with this little girl across the street. And I knew that little girl's parents were racist. I knew they were racist. They were part of that the Grace Brethren Church. You know, that church where they wear tuxedos and long gowns to church, and which is predominantly white church. Yeah, that church. And if you don't know about it, you can. It's a sect called Grace Brethren. Yeah. And anyway, yeah. So the little 5-year-old girl, Patty, called my sister the N-word. My sister was so shocked because she had never been called that. And remember, we grew up in the DC area. We grew up in DC, but she had never been called that in DC because everybody else was, you know, around her we were all the same color. But when we moved to Maryland, she thought this little girl was her friend. And that little girl called her the N-word. My sister never forgot that. Yep. That was her first reality. And then, of course, at the time that we moved to Prince George's County, they were still burning crosses on people's lawns. So we didn't live far enough out in PG County for them to do it, but I had friends that had it happen to them because they didn't want them in the neighborhood. But now all of those neighborhoods is mainly us. I can tell you that. Thank you, 1SP. I try to be sweet. I do. And I am sweet as long as people ain't messing with my son. That's the only thing that makes me a crazy person these days. Then I can be really mean. I can be real nicey. I can be real nicey, as Michelle A says. But yep, it was. You just got to think about the 70s. The late 70s is when Washington, D.C., that's when it started to shift from being a high percentage African American. It's still a high percentage of African American, but not like it was in the 70s and probably up into the 80s. Like mid 80s after that, a lot of the people, when they were growing up, they would grow up in DC, but then they would move to Maryland and buy a house in Maryland. Or people would move to Maryland when they wanted to buy a house. You know, so all those areas that were predominantly not black are now black. or they're very mixed neighborhoods, because there's some neighborhoods where the neighborhood is just mixed. Like the one where I grew up, where when we moved to Maryland, is a mixed neighborhood. Now, it's not. It didn't go from being all white to being all black, even though it's a lot of us, because they built this other housing tract like around the corner. But on that street that I lived on, it's still really, really mixed. And the majority of the people that lived there when I was growing up still live there. Still live there to this day. I know 1SP. I know. I'm showing my age. Because if they're young, they don't know who she is. They don't know who she is. Shoot. They just got reintroduced to Missy. You know, much ups to Missy Elliott. I love her. Yeah, I know, Mahogany. I know y'all are babies. But I'm not. I was going, the year you were born, Mahogany, I was going to high school. and I did date one guy a long time ago that was born the year you were born. Yep, 14 years younger than me. We're still friends too. But he liked older women. I mean, he really liked older women. That was his thing. So, yeah, but I love Michelle A. She's been through a whole lot too. You know, if you watch that, you know, that documentary thing about her that came on Lifetime and everything, that just, you know, that gave you a better understanding of the stuff that she went through and stuff. But it didn't tell everything. Yep. I actually sang Something in My Heart in a karaoke contest finals once. But her dad won't let anybody sing that song on karaoke anymore because she never released it on karaoke, but a karaoke DJ made his own version of it. And even though it's not their original music and stuff, and it's a replay and everything, they don't want it used in karaoke. So it can only be used like if we're doing, like if you're singing at one of his shows or something, but you can't like use it in contest or anything. Yeah, it was. I thought it was a good one. I didn't have a problem with Straight Outta Compton either. I thought it was pretty good. You know, I thought it was good, and it told a lot of the story. And I like the part of with Q, you know what I mean? Because it really showed why he really left the group and stuff. Yeah, he's a trip. Dr. Dre, man, he's stupid. You know, because I don't think he ever apologized to that one chick that was like a hip hop reporter back there then. He's a little on the arrogant side, and he's not into sisters anymore anyway. So you know, That tells you how I feel about him. You know? Yeah, he's definitely not a man. Shoot, I think one of his kids, one of his sons, didn't one of his sons die? One of his sons, I think, died. Yeah, that's who I'm talking about. Dee Barnes. That's who I'm talking about. She was on Wendy Williams, I think last season she was on Wendy Williams' show. But I knew about that from way back in the day. And he never apologized to her. You know. And she pretty much got blackballed and stuff because of him. Yeah. She never really recovered from that whole situation. And he did her wrong. But she never, it pretty much destroyed her professional career. You know? It pretty much destroyed her career. And I think she said she was homeless for a time too. Like recently. In the last several years she was homeless. That's crazy. You know? That she's gone through all of that. She's had a really rough life. Because of that incident. And I really think that they hindered her career. She was young. And she just, you know, got caught up in that foolishness with that food. But hopefully, you know, because of her being on Wendy and, you know, kind of talking about it and everything. And I think she's supposed to be coming back on sometime this season because I think she was writing a book or something. You know, she'll be able to get everything turned around. No, he's not a good person. He's part of the Hollywood elite. He's definitely on that other side. He's definitely over there. Fully entrenched. He's fully entrenched. You know? He's fully entrenched. Yep. He's a hurt person, but there's no excuse for things that he's done. Especially to black women. You know? Shoot. Because I think both him and Suge put their hands on Michelle A. I think both of them slapped her around. I think both of them did that to her. And she doesn't have the highest self-esteem, but she's getting better. She's getting better. I think she did try to sue him. But I think that she got blackballed. And all her money sources dried up. So she didn't have the money to pursue it further. I believe that's what happened. Thank you, Miss Blind Nito. I try to be a lady. I try to be a lady. Yep. No, I wouldn't say that either. I would never put it all on men. However, a man should just walk away because he's bigger and generally stronger. Or let her walk away. You know what I mean? And if it's one of the ones who wants to start the hitting, definitely get the heck away from her. Because I think there's always a way out of those situations without it becoming a physical situation. Yep. I don't think anybody, you know, but I know that there are women who put a man, just keep hitting the man and keep doing stuff and keep pushing them like, I mean, and I don't mean pushing them metaphorically. I mean pushing on him, you know, touching him and stuff to try to get him to put his hands on her. You got those kind of crazy women out there too. You know, because they want a man to catch a case. You know, so I'm well aware you got those out there, you know, but it's like, just try not to have yourself in a situation that's going to get you twisted and messed up. Because domestic violence is just not the answer. That's what I'm saying. Domestic violence is just not the answer. It's on anybody's part, you know. And if it appears to be a volatile situation, walk away, walk away, walk away. I'm speaking from experience. Walk away, walk away, walk away. You know, rather than picking up that knife that I had to pick up and tell a man that if he touched me again, I was going to go there with him. That's what happened when a man put his hands on me. I'm like, cause all you got, if you don't want to be still with me, put your hands on me. That's the easy way to get rid of me. I'm gone. I'm good. I'm good on you. I'm real good on you at that point. And at the same time, that's why it's like, if I know if I don't do arguments, I don't argue. I don't know if I have to argue with you, then we don't need to be together. If we can't just have a conversation, yeah, we should just be able to have a conversation, you know, not have an argument, not push each other's buttons, you know, to get anything to be escalated to that point. That somebody's emotions are so out of check that they put their hands on another person, be it the male or the female doing that. That's it. Yep. I don't do it, so. I know what it looks like, so I don't do it. You know. But I know that you know, again, it's males and females. You know, it's not only men. Not only men. And that's why I say If you think the situation is going that way, if you can't keep your hands to yourself, if he can't keep his hands to himself, then y'all don't need to be together. And you need to go and get into an anger management class to learn how to control your anger. Child, I'm good. You put your hands on me, I'm good. I'm good. You know, if you drive me to the point that I want to put my hands on you, I'm good on you at that point too. Because if I feel that I need to use my hands on you, I don't need to be with you. That's when I need to walk away from you. Because you're going to have me crazy. That's why I don't do arguments. I don't have time for all that. I don't even want to get myself into a situation where I'm going to be heated or they're going to be heated. You know? That's true. They do. Because if you think the answer is putting your hands on a man rather than him putting his hands on you, that ain't right. And then the bad thing about it is that most men are not believed if they report domestic violence, if they report that the female put their hands on them. You know? And in the same situation, if you with a chick that's putting her hands on you, that could cause it to be a situation where you get compromised, dude, get the heck away from that chick. She tripping. She got issues. You know? Yeah, and you know, and I mean that's what I try to teach my son. That's what I try to teach my son, not to put his hands on anybody. You know, obviously, I want him to defend himself if somebody touches him, but he should never be the aggressor. You know, he should be a calm person. So I try to keep him, you know, calm so he doesn't do anything. I know that's the thing. That the police, they don't believe it when females do stuff to men, except for when they kill them. Now if when they've gotten to the point of killing, okay, now you believe that it was domestic violence, like the burning bed, you know, or the chick that sliced off the man's, you know what, domestic violence. So, you know, I mean, it has to be to the point that the man has been pretty much hurt and hospitalized or dead before they take action, which is really not right. Because you got some crazy women out there too who are aggressive and they want a man that they can push around and who will allow them to be like that. They need to be by themselves. They don't need a man. They don't need anybody. Exactly. Be gone. Be gone. Don't wait till you got kids involved, because then it becomes really hard. You know, it takes time to roll out of it after the kids involved in the situation. And then what? You want them to see that? Do you want them to grow up seeing that kind of stuff? That's healthy? So that they repeat the cycle? I know. They don't. But that's what I was saying like the other night, is that the problem is that a man can't control that. And they could be, sexually aroused, even though they don't want to be sexually aroused, so that someone can do something to them. Think about it. When young boys are molested by females, grown women, or teenagers, isn't that what's happening to them? Isn't that what's happening to them? So I don't know why they call things assault when somebody actually, they call it sexual assault now. Everything's sexual assault instead of calling it what it is. I guess that's a pretty, a nicer way of saying that someone invaded your body. But now it just covers a whole array of things, including that. Yep. I just got a divorce. That's what I did. He thinks I don't forgive him, but I do. I forgave him a long time ago. But I could never trust that person again to be with me. So we're just going to be parents to our son because he has a disability. And we have to be in communication with each other. We have to be in each other's lives. But, we don't have to be married to do that. And so we are not. Because I did not want my son growing up with that, being around that, especially because of him being disabled. I didn't want him to see that because he might not understand it, and might not understand that it's not a good thing. So don't have him see it. That was my fear, is that, he would grow up seeing that. I didn't grow up seeing that, so I didn't want my kid growing up seeing that. That's not even right, 1SP. That's not even right. That chick is crazy. And it's like, girls who put their hands on dudes and everything. And then, people they'll try to call a guy a punk. He's not a punk. He just doesn't want to put his hands on her, because if he puts his hands on her, it's going to be a whole nother situation. That's why, at least, you have people like Miss Heather Locklear, when she was beating up on that dude she's with, they took her butt to jail. Well, that's because you were stress-free also, Mahogany. Really? 1SP? God. I have been divorced since 2002, December 2002. Because I got divorced before I turned 40. Because I refused to be still going through that divorce when I turned 40. But when I was going through my divorce, Man, I was so stressed. They thought I had lupus. They didn't know all kinds of things. My body was like trying to shut down on me from the stress. So they were doing all kinds of tests and everything. And the doctor finally figured out it was the stress. The stress, was affecting my health. The stress was affecting my health. That's crazy though, 1SP. That's not even cool. And I hate that because, females like that, then they do that, and then you take a good man and turn him into not a good man because of something some crazy chick did. Yeah, I know, Blind Needle. I know. And I'm like, it was literally, I was so stressed when I was going through the divorce because it took 3 years to get it. Took 3 years. Took me 3 years to get it. And I was just stressed out. My health was starting to be affected. Like I said, they were doing blood tests because they couldn't understand why I could barely walk. Why I was starting to get inflamed. I was starting to have symptoms of like lupus, but I did not have lupus. And when they told me that it was it turned out that it was the stress, and that the stress was affecting my body, and the doctor was like, you got to stay away from him. You need, and just, do this a different way. But I couldn't like stay away from him because we had a kid together, so. All right. No worries. We're about to stop. We're about to get off in a minute, Terry. Thank you for hanging out. We're only gonna go like maybe a couple more minutes because I'm looking at it. I didn't realize we were supposed to stop 15 minutes ago. when we started talking about domestic violence, that took us on a whole nother way. Yeah, but the domestic violence isn't good from either party in any situation. Abuse is abuse, and then you have the like verbal abuse, which in some situations is worse than the physical abuse. You feel like, why don't you just go ahead and hit me already? Get it over with. Instead of torturing me with your words. Oh, man, 1SP. Oh, man. Man, I have a friend that was with this girl, and he found out that she was doing all kinds of stuff with other men because she was keeping videotapes and pictures of her doing all these things with other men. And he had to go get his son tested to make sure that was his kid. And then he left her. She was trying to get him to marry her. Now he's not trying to marry nobody because of that chick. That's his thing. Like, he tells me, he said I can deal with anything. Don't cheat. He's like, I can't deal with a woman that's gonna cheat on me, because and I can see that. Yep. Exactly, Mahogany. Exactly. Exactly. And you know, 1SP, I have another friend that happened to. I mean, it's like he's in the industry, in the music industry and everything, but you know, as a musician, and he got married to this chick, and they're Christians, okay? But she turned into a whole nother person. She'd be at home cursing him out, trying to get him to fight her. And he knows that she started doing some stuff with somebody else and everything. I mean, he was doing all kinds of stuff for this chick, and she was doing nothing but going behind his back and defaming him, and then treated him like a dog at home. Good man. And he was just heartbroken over the whole situation, but he was like, I got to get out of this. I can't be with her. I got to go. You know? Yeah, that's kind of crazy. That is crazy. You know? And then all the other stuff that she was doing, man. That chick was off the chain in a bad way. I'm so sorry that happened to you, 1SP. That's okay. That means that God has something better for you. He got something better for you. He has something better for you. That's why you came through that. Yeah, I know. I had my share of bad men, and it's like, but once you, it's like, then you know what you don't want. I know exactly what I don't want. And if it's like, and if you don't want it, come a certain way, that's fine. Can you just move out of the way so that my husband can find me? Can you move out the way then? That's what I say. Can you just move out of the way so my husband can find me? That's what you say to them women. Sweetheart, can you move out the way? I'm looking for my wife. Exactly. I know I went through a lot with my ex, you know, but we got a kid, and so I'm like tied to him for life. Tied to him for life. Yep, but that's how I am. When I'm like, you know, it's all good, but can you I just need you to move, because you blocking the way for my mate. You're blocking the way. Well, we getting ready to get off, Miss Blind Needle. I know you guys are all sitting out there, and I appreciate y'all hanging out, because it's Friday night into Saturday morning. So, but I am going to go ahead and I'm going to let everybody go. And thank you so much for coming through tonight, 1SP. I'm so happy you came through tonight. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for sharing that with us in the chat. But I hope that all you guys are going to have a wonderful rest of your night. I will be back on tomorrow. I may come on during the day, but I will definitely be on tomorrow evening. But until then, as always, I'm going to say, I'm going to catch you on IG too. I'm the same on IG, 1SP. DC the Purple Diva. So you guys, if you catch, just send me a request on IG to DCThePurpleDiva, and I will accept, because my IG is private. Yep, I'll find you guys on IG. I like your stuff, Blind Needle. Yeah, I know you do, 1SP. I think I have to follow you back, though. All right, guys. So until tomorrow, peace from the West Side. I'll see y'all then. Bye, everybody.